me was about the need for a new BFB replacement building. And James took us out here and showed us this site, and it was safe to say, Harold, there was a little bit of an issue with the land, getting hold of the land, and whether it was the right place. I know things dragged on a little bit, but apparently it's been going, that issue, the issue of this new building has been going from about 2012-2013 concept of it. Bringing it to fruition with the volunteers and particularly with the work of the Department of Fire and Emergency Services, it's fantastic. I'm very, very pleased that, we've gone from me as a new minister being basically lobbied and pressured by both the Shire and the BFB to have this building constructed, to get it out today doing the official opening. It's heartwarming for the volunteers, and certainly heartwarming for me that it's been done. And it's been done in such now you've got the block of land, it was done in such a quick time. Back to Commissioner, I suggested that project team come and work on the rest of the details projects. If they knock this one up so quick, then they could probably start working on Halls Creek tomorrow. If you manage to pull that one off, you clearly are a bunch of miracle workers, I can tell you. But a big congratulations to everybody who's been involved. It is a superb building. I know it looks a very large facility for a BFB facility, larger than most that you see around Western Australia, but because of the nature of the dangers of Broome and the surrounding areas and the area land, as described by Diane, you need good vehicles, you need a lot of vehicles, and you need a lot of people to be able to address the matters as quickly as possible. So, for example, yesterday, and can I just say congratulations and thank you to all of the volunteers, regardless of which organisation you belong to, who were involved in that fire yesterday. This is the day before. Friday, sorry, I'm looking at time. On Friday, you managed to keep that fire to, I think it was just under 40 hectares, and it could have burnt out anywhere up to about 2,000 hectares. So well done. I saw the fire myself, so that was a great job. Congratulations. Can I also just give you a little bit of an idea of some of the reasons why I've been up here for a few days, other than the cabinet that will be on Monday, tomorrow, and the town hall meeting that will be on this afternoon. I was lucky enough to be able to be part of an official ceremony to launch the new Brigade Fire Brigade units up the peninsula. They have the second and third units, fully operated, controlled Indigenous units in Western Australia. And I would say probably in Australia, I think in Australia, because there's many Indigenous people involved in fire in the eastern state, but I don't know whether they run completely their own units, but they certainly do here. So Vigilante was the first, and people by Jarragon are the second and third here in Western Australia. And because of the work that they've been doing, honestly, it was remarkable. The work they've already done in mitigation, burns and controls up the peninsula is really, really remarkable stuff, really good stuff. But also with organisations such as Beagle Bay preparing their emergency plans was, absolutely sensational. We were blown away with the Commissioner and Minister, the work they've done, how sophisticated and in-depth the emergency plans that have been done for those townships up there. So remarkable work, and because of that, I think it's also incentivised other towns, particularly remote Indigenous communities, to actually also think about setting up their own volunteer fire and emergency brigades as well. So a big congratulations to those workplaces. And also, Diane talks about her father. I'm sure I'm glad to find out he wasn't a firefighter, he was just doing traditional fire practices, which is great because we won't open it for the Commissioner, we'll finish it The new Bushfire Centre of Excellence, which is just outside of Yarra, we'll open it commissioning in. That sounded like a question rather than a definitive answer as such. So hopefully we'll have it finished in December. That, again, it's the first of its kind in Australia, the new Bushfire Centre of Excellence, which will teach fire practices. And we will also be the first emergency services group in the whole of Australia that will teach traditional fire practices. And a person who has lifelong skills in that area has actually been employed. A number of local people from the Brigade area have also been employed to work under him. And it was great to see down in Collie the other day a number of Indigenous Department of Fire and Emergency Service cadets who are also learning traditional fire practices for the purposes of being teaching others as well. So it's great that not only are we setting up an organisation or effectively a college where we can teach about mitigation plans, about researching fire and how to stay safe. One of the first of its kind in Australia, probably one of the first of its kind in the world, but we're also, part of that is actually using the knowledge that's been done by Indigenous people for tens of thousands of years, applying that in practice as part of the overall emergency services structure, which is fantastic. It's really good. So those are the things that we're involved with at the moment, and that's the reason why I've been up here. And as you know, I'm not contesting the next election, so it's goodbye to me, as they say. Hopefully I might be improved before the next election, who knows, but that's the end of it for me. But I'm very, very pleased to have been able to work with the Commissioner over that period of time, over the last probably 4 years, to make some significant and transformative changes to the way in which emergency services is operating in Western Australia, a complete change of what it was 4 years ago. And we've basically set down the seeds for a very, very bright, positive and different future on the way in which emergency services will be delivered and practiced in Western Australia. And can I just once again, in my closing statement, also thank all the volunteers for the work that we do on behalf of the communities of Western Australia and the people of Western Australia. It's my responsibility as both MP and Minister to acknowledge your work and to thank you for keeping us safe. We simply couldn't do without you. So thanks once again. Cheers.
Thank you, Minister Logan, and I now invite the Feds Commissioner, Gary Clan.
Thanks, Grant. And can I acknowledge the Yarra people and pay my respects to the elders past, present and future. Thank you very much, Diane, for the welcome to the country. Obviously, the Minister for Emergency Services, Honourable Fran Logan, MLA, great to be up here with you again. As the Minister said, we've had a pretty interesting last 3 or 4 days up on the Dampier Peninsula, and we headed over to Derby. They are, as the Minister said, very clear about where the centre of the Kimberley is, and I'm not sure everybody here who lives in Broome knows exactly what the people in Derby say about it all over here, but they're a great bunch of people over there. We've got a really strong volunteer group over in Derby. To the Shire Broome President, Harold Tracy, good to see you again, Harold, and also to the CEO, Sam Masper-Lembo. Good to see you again, Sam. I haven't seen you yet today. There he is. I'll catch up with you afterwards. The person with a smile the size of a watermelon is James Jimbo Taylor down the front here. I've been here for about 45 minutes, so I haven't seen that smile come off the face yet, so that's great. And also to the Shire Broome councillors that are here today. CEO of Yarra, Susan, I haven't met you yet, but I'll look forward to having a chat to you afterwards. And most importantly, to all Fire and Emergency Services volunteers that are here today, welcome one and all. One of the great strengths of DFES, of the model that we have for Fire and Emergency Services in Western Australia, are the emblems at the bottom of that banner over there on my left-hand side, you're right, and it represents the different services that DFES represents, and we are, people who work for DFES are really proud to support, train, equip, facilitate, make your lives as easy as we possibly can so that you can go out and do your volunteering. And I think that the mutual respect that's shown here today, particularly in the Broome region, but also broadly across the Kimberley, the fact that every service, every volunteer service that DFES represents is represented here today to celebrate celebrate the opening of the building, but also celebrate the benefit that the Bushfire Brigade, the Broome Regional Bushfire Brigade, is going to get from this building. And so I don't think it's as prevalent as it is in the Kimberley in terms of the support and the togetherness that comes from the different volunteer groups. I know the recent fire at the Broome School involved not only the Volunteer Fire and Rescue Service, but the Bushfire Brigade were involved as well. DFES and SES and others were all involved in it, and that points to really strong volunteering ethos. It points towards a group of people that no matter what colour the uniform that they wear, that they are prepared to step up and do their bit together with their peers to make sure they keep their community safe. It is fundamental, and it goes to the very foundations of fire and emergency services here in Western Australia, is that mutual respect that says no matter what colour your uniform is, everybody brings someone to the table, and it is worthy. And so I congratulate you all, particularly to Grant Pipe, Superintendent up here, and your staff, Grant. No matter where I go in the Kimberley, I see the same thing. Whether we're down in Halls Creek, waiting for that building to be built, Minister, one of these centuries, we might get that built. We need a good builder, Harold. I'm sure there's someone around that might be able to build us a building down there. As soon as we get that land sorted down there, we'll be right. No, look, Halls Creek, Fitzroy Crossing, great successes at Pitchbanga and up on the Downhill Peninsula. We opened the other two at Beagle Bay and Jarrington earlier this week. At Wyndham, Kununurra and Derby. Can't forget Derby, of course, but they are great diversity in those groups. I think if I was to reflect across volunteering in Western Australia, the male-female numbers, the ratio here in the Kimberley is stronger than it is anywhere else. The female representation, which is fantastic, and also the involvement of our traditional owners, Indigenous people. For instance, we've got a young fellow who's the Aboriginal captain at Halls Creek, Volunteer Fire and Emergency Services, and I can tell you that's rare, but really exciting nonetheless. So the important things about these buildings, I know you've done it hard, Jimbo, in a couple of different sheds, in different locations, fair to say? So it is a great use of the emergency services levy, some $1.3 million to build this facility. It is a great facility. I did get the opportunity to see it, walk through it a couple of months ago, been through it again today, and it will provide a real focal point for the Broome Regional Bushfire Brigade. Already we've seen some increases in volunteers stepping up to the plate for your brigade, and you should be congratulated for that. But I can't overemphasise the importance of these types of facilities for these volunteer groups, no matter what service they're from, to have a home. It's important that they have a home that they're proud of, that they can feel part of, and it only leads to stronger volunteer brigades, groups and units, which in turn leads to stronger communities. And so I'd like to thank everybody involved, particularly the Shire. These things in partnership with the Shire invariably go really well. I think it would be fair to say that it is arguably our preferred model of how we might go about building the various facilities we do across the state. So I thank the Shire of Broome for their contribution to not only look at the extra funding that was provided for the building, but also your approach to getting it done. So thank you very much for that. To everybody involved, the volunteers, I think it's absolutely fantastic. It is so proud. I'm so proud to be the Commissioner of Fire and Emergency Services here in Western Australia, to see, no matter where I go, I see fantastic things being done by just ordinary people in the community. I don't mean ordinary as in not good, I mean just people going about their business, and for us, people in the community, they step up time and time again to do the extraordinary. It is incredibly heartwarming to see that we've got people like this in the community of Western Australia, all over the state. So can I thank everyone involved. Jimbo, I'm so wrapped for you, mate. It's great to see a great facility. It's really going to be a focal point of the Bushfire Brigade going forward for the next 30 or 40 years. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. Can I now invite the Shire President, Shire of Broome, Harold Tracy.
Thanks, Grant. I have this magnificent 3-page speech to read today, but we've just about covered everything, so it makes my job pretty easy. Welcome everybody, and firstly I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of Broome and the land in which we meet, the Yawuru people, and pay respect to the elders past, present and emerging. And Diane, thank you for a lovely welcome to the country. Just before I get started, just while Diane's in the spotlight here, these new facilities these days are a bit flashier than they were when we were kids when I was living in Dora Street, and we had a little fire station in Walcott Street back in the 70s that sort of hung around for about 10 or 15 years, and that was in the days before mobile phones and radios and so forth, and the only way volunteers would know there was a fire, and we had this big siren, and it just went right through the town, and it didn't matter where you were, if your dad was in the pub or mum was at work or whatever it was, everyone comes scrambling down to the fire station. So it's I'm sure you remember that pretty fondly. I would also like to acknowledge Fran Logan. Fran, great supporter of Broome over the years, and I'd like to acknowledge Fran. I do wish you the very best in future endeavours. I'd also like to acknowledge Darren. Darren, thanks, and thank you very much for your support for Broome as well, and other distinguished guests. It is with immense pride that the Shire of Broome is able to welcome you to our great town. And I'm for the record, I do love Derby, and we all love Derby here, so I don't want the wrong message getting back in Jeff. We're going to have a fight on our hands, but however, I am very biased, and this is the greatest place on earth, not just the Kimberley, I think, Broome, so welcome up there. As we've talked about today, it's been well overdue, this facility, and it's taken a lot longer than we all would have liked to get us to this point, but I'm sure you'll agree the finished product is well worth the wait. Broome and the wider Kimberley region are prone to extreme weather events, and it's fitting that this facility is now operational ahead of another wet season. We've seen that we have over the recent years across other areas of Western Australia, just see how devastating bushfires are. And I live in a rural property out of Coconut Wells, and about 4 or 5 years ago we had a really bad fire there, and it was touch and go whether a lot of the properties were going to be saved. This station will give our community the peace of mind that we are all safe. We provide our emergency services personnel and volunteers an appropriate level of infrastructure to fulfil such an important role in public safety. As Darren touched on before, the old our other facilities were in 2 different sheds, and so it was a bit of a logistical nightmare whenever there was an emergency about getting trucks and bits and pieces out of other sheds. So it was clearly not an ideal situation. And given the time-sensitive nature of emergencies, it just didn't make sense. The new facility will provide a dedicated home for the Broome Bushfire Brigade and enable them to respond to emergencies in a more cohesive and effective manner. A lot of hard work has gone into bringing this project to fruition. We've touched on the land issues that we've had, the location issues that we've had. But I'd like to say a big thank you to the Department of Fire and Emergency Services and State Government who have joint funded this $1.46 million facility for the Shire of Broome. I'd like to thank our internal Shire staff for their commitment and dedication throughout the process, while our Parks and Gardens team have done a great job in the exterior landscaping. Once again, they do a fantastic job right over town, but once again they excel here. The Shire of Broome officers, with the assistance of DEFIS, developed a scope for the project ahead of the procurement phase. This included staff from different departments helping to provide solutions and advocate for additional funding. Shire officers also contract managed the project during the build, and I might add, if that's going to be your model and you're struggling with other shires, we're happy to step in and give you a hand with that wherever it is, mate. And it's provided a building that is a great outcome for community emergency service. I'd like to single out the Shire Building Surveyor, Rob Rampy, for his commitment and professionalism with his project management skills critical to the project success. So well done, Rob, and congratulations. It's a testament to all your hard work here. Facilities like this play a significant role in the positive evolution of Broome, with our town growing towards becoming a regional city. Finally, I would like to thank all the volunteers, and without volunteers, none of this exists. And this is like many other organisations that in our great community. That's all. Most of these sort of facilities and other, Surf Life Saving Club, our volunteer sea rescue services, all these people involved in keeping us safe. Fantastic, and thank you, sincerely thank you all for your hard work. So we should all be proud of this final result, and I'm hoping that we don't need to use it too much. However, I'm sure we're much safer with it. So thanks very much.
Thank you very much, Harold. I would now like to invite to the podium the happiest man here today, Jimbo James Taylor.
I'd also like to welcome, acknowledge the local traditional Yarra people, and thank you, Diane, for that beautiful welcome to country at the start. I'd like to start off by welcoming and thanking everyone for coming along to this special day, which is a very historic day for the Broome Regional Volunteer Bushfire Brigade. In particular, I'd like to thank and acknowledge the Minister for Emergency Services and Corrective Services, and also the Fire and Emergency Services Commissioner, Darren, for being present today. Again, very grateful and humbled to have you in our presence. It's been a long time coming, this facility, for some of us in the past beginning to wonder if it would ever happen. Plans, ideas and locations have come and gone several times over the years, but then, before we knew it, late last year, much to our excitement, this block we currently stand on was being cleared. And then of course the bets began of when this project would be completed. With the wet season and COVID threatening to blow the project out, much credit deserves to go to the builder H&M Tracy and associated contractors for getting it completed through all these obstacles. Because of your efficiency, let's just say some cartons were owed. I feel some of those cartons are still owing. Ben, Eric. This facility really couldn't have come at a better time, with the Brigade being called on more and more in recent years to assist in a wide variety of incidents, whether it be cyclones with the SES, or structure fires with Broome Fire and Rescue, but also many truck fires out on the highway, to name a few. I believe this will become a major asset to the town, community and region, and will assist the Brigade majorly in recruitment, training and operations, and providing opportunities that we have never had in the past. That old saying, if you build it, they will come, and that they definitely are. I'd like to thank all that were involved in the project, particularly the Department of Fire and Emergency Services. We're incredibly grateful for the great support and guidance we received from you guys. And a massive thanks must go to Area Officer Ben Muller, who worked very hard to get this facility over the line. I'd also like to acknowledge DFA's District Officer Kim Mulder, who unfortunately is no longer with us, but played a large part within the Brigade and will always be remembered. A big thank you must also go to the Shire of Broome for assisting in the build, with special recognition to go to the quality work done by the Parks and Garden crew. I'd also like to acknowledge the support in the form of discounts for this project coming from Horizon Power and of course Waterford. More special acknowledgement needs to go to the following businesses who have helped out the Brigade in recent times. The donations coming from Soltech Integrated Systems, Grace and Rose for moving us into this wonderful facility, Laura and the crew at Harvey Norman Broome. Thanks to Kimberley Ports Authority for greatly assisting in the funding for our social area out there at the Shakespeare. And also Broome Redco, whose support has really been the inspiration behind recent and future fundraising events. So many thanks to you all. And finally, the biggest thank you must go to the Brigade volunteers, past and present, who have consistently shown dedication, professionalism and a can-do attitude, no matter what the conditions. anyone who's ever been to the Guy Street or Blackman Street stations will understand just how grateful the Brigade is to be standing in this big shiny shed today, surrounded by these big shiny trucks on this big shiny floor with nice shiny fridges. So thank you all.
Thank you very much, Captain Taylor. And look, I'd now like to invite to the cutting of the ribbon to officially open the facility. So the Minister, Shire President, Commissioner, and also Captain Taylor. And if I could get the official photographer or anyone that would like to take a photo. Yes, we can have you standing on the outside. Yeah, I've got to work with the camera, because they might tell me the other way. Photographer, which way would you like it? This way or the other way? Some behind it? That's right.